When life crushes you beneath its weight, the voice that once felt near seems far. The prayers you whispered return as echoes. The night stretches longer than reason, and you begin to wonder if heaven still sees you at all. But hear this, child of dust and light. Your faith is not failing, it is being forged. The flame flickers not because it is dying, but because it is learning to stand against the wind. The God who carried Israel through the sea still walks beside you through your storm. He did not promise calm, he promised company. The Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. Psalms, chapter 34, verse 18. The nearness of God is not felt in victory, but in wounds. He draws close to the broken, not the whole. And when pain has stripped away all else, what remains is the truth, that faith was never about escape, but endurance. You asked for strength, and he gave you struggle. You prayed for courage, and he sent you silence. You begged for peace, and he led you through fire until your fear turned to prayer. This is the pattern of the kingdom. The warrior is not made by ease, but by endurance. So now I ask you, will you still believe when the waters reach your chin? When no miracle comes, and the heavens hold their breath? Will you hold the line? For faith is not proven when light surrounds you. It is proven when darkness falls, and you still whisper, I trust you. Every wound becomes an altar when you refuse to curse the flame. Every tear becomes a prayer when you lift your head again. And in that rising, heaven sees you, not as broken, but as becoming. You are not forgotten. You are being watched, refined, written into the fire. The blade is not destroyed by heat, it is purified by it. So stand, soldier of faith. Your scars are not shame, they are scripture. You have walked through nights that refused to end. You have buried prayers that never bloomed. You have shouted into the wind until your voice broke, and still, no answer came. Hope, once bright as sunrise, now flickers like a dying ember in your chest. And yet, it still burns. Do not despise the waiting. The waiting is holy. It is the silence between hammer strikes, where purpose is shaped unseen. You think nothing is moving, but heaven is never still. The potter does his finest work while the clay feels forgotten. So lift your eyes, even if your head trembles. The mountain is not higher than his mercy, nor the valley deeper than his reach. And though the world tells you to give up, the spirit within whispers, hold fast. For even now, something eternal is being built beneath your suffering, a foundation that cannot be shaken. For I know the thoughts that I think toward you, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you a future and a hope. Jeremiah, chapter 29, verse 11. Hope is not optimism, it is obedience to a promise you have not yet seen. It is standing in the ruins and believing that resurrection is possible. It is planting a seed in drought and trusting the rain will remember where you stood. So tell me, watchman of the night, will you let despair write your ending, or will you wait for dawn? When the silence mocks your prayer, will you still whisper, not my will, but yours? For hope is not the denial of pain, it is the defiance of it. Every saint has walked through shadow, every prophet has questioned heaven, but none who kept walking ever remained in darkness. So lift your head. You are not waiting for light, you are carrying it. The storm will pass, the pain will break, and on the other side of this night, the same voice that once felt distant will call your name again, not as a whisper, but as a command. Hope brought you through the night, but love is what will teach you to walk again. Faith made you stand, hope made you wait, but love Love makes you move. It is the power that does not ask to be understood. It is the fire that does not burn to destroy, but to heal. You have felt pain so deep it hollowed you. You have carried loss so heavy it bent your spine. And still, something in you reaches toward the light, not because it is easy, but because love commands it. Love is not sentiment. It is sacrifice in motion. It is choosing to forgive when the wound still bleeds. It is holding your sword with mercy instead of vengeance. Greater love has no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. John, chapter 15, verse 13. That is the measure. Love is not proven in comfort. It is proven in cost. And the greatest warriors are not the ones who win every battle. They are the ones who fight without hatred. Love is not soft. It is iron that bends only to grace. It is the whisper that tells you to bless those who broke you and to pray for the ones who left you bleeding. It takes more strength to stay kind than to stay armed. And in that restraint, you mirror the face of the King. So I ask you, what do you still withhold from love? What bitterness still hides beneath your armor? Lay it down. Lay it all down. Because the hand that loves cannot hold the sword of vengeance and the cross at the same time. Do not mistake love for weakness. It is the weapon heaven wields against hell itself. It is the reason the grave could not hold him, and why your pain will not hold you. You were made in its image. To love when it hurts is to become unbreakable. So forgive, not because they deserve it, but because you were forgiven first. And in that mercy, your freedom begins. Now the fire is quiet. The smoke has thinned, the wounds have stopped bleeding, and the battlefield is still. You breathe again, slower, deeper. And for the first time, the silence feels holy. Because it is not the end of the fight, it is the beginning of peace. You have walked through the storm with faith. You have waited in darkness with hope. You have forgiven in fire with love. And now, what remains is truth. You were never fighting to win. You were fighting to become. Those who wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. Isaiah, chapter 40, verse 31. The promise has not changed. The weary rise again. The broken become the builders. The fallen become the faithful. And the once crushed heart becomes the vessel through which heaven speaks. The mountain that once terrified you now calls you upward. Not as a challenge, but as a homecoming. Every scar on your body glows like scripture in the dawn. And from the fire you once feared, you now draw light. So rise, anointed warrior. Rise not to conquer, but to continue. Rise not to be seen, but to serve. For the true victory is not in the crown, but in the cross that carried you here. Stand when the world kneels. Forgive when the heart resists. Love when the pain returns. And when your strength fades again, it will. Remember, he who called you from the ashes will breathe life again into your lungs. You are the living proof that faith survives the fire, that hope outlives the night, and that love conquers everything it touches. The war within you is not over, but you have changed. You are no longer fighting to be saved. You are fighting because you are saved. And as heaven watches, a voice whispers from beyond the veil, "Well done, good and faithful servant. Enter into the joy of your Lord." Matthew, chapter 25, verse 23. Now go, walk in the light you once sought. And when life hurts again, as it surely will, remember what the fire taught you. Faith stands, hope waits, love endures. And you, child of God, soldier of mercy, were born for this.